Welcome into the high noon stream here at the Radio Misfits podcast platform. I am Pugs Moran. I do 2 streams a day. High noon comes at noon every Monday through Friday. That's Central Standard Time. That's noon, 12 p.m. That's right now. It's right now. So just, now, noon. Get it? High noon. Then we do another one Monday through Thursday evening. Hold on, I got to tighten this up a little bit. This is getting a little bit crazy. We do the second stream. It's called Pillow Talk. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. That's more conversational, whereas this is more topic driven. The Pillow Talk show tonight, however, on Mondays, as many of you may know, we call it Kelly Moore Mondays on Pugs and Parker's Pillow Talk. So kind of a Pugs and Kelly show reunion, except James plays a much larger role than he did back in the day when he was just producing. Although he played a significant role. He just wasn't an equal as he is now. So come on by and join us for that. That's at 9 o'clock tonight, 9 Central Time. What do I want to mention here before we get started? Oh, okay. So today's show may not be as long as a normal show, may not go the full 2 hours. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I got to do. I got my kid this week. I got to pick him up after school. So in order to get to his school on time, I can't go to like 2:30. It's basically what I'm saying. So I got to do all of that. Yeah. So we'll try and run through everything. Byron is here. Hey, Byron. Will is here. Brady is here. Will, hey, Pugs. Been in the hospital since last Wednesday for an unplanned surgery. Good to see you again. Good to see you again, Will. Oh, man, I'm telling you. We grown-ups in our unplanned surgeries. I'll tell you. I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope you're doing well, my friend. I do. I mean that. That's a shit deal. That is right there. Hey, Al is here. Steven is here. April is here. Yeah, everybody in the chat room, man. Send out some good vibes, baby, for Will. Yeah, if you want to do thoughts and prayers, I got no problem with that. I think that's lovely. That's fine. But good vibes, thoughts and prayers, whatever it is. I get upset. I mean, I get the frustration of the non-religious people when they attack, people for sending thoughts and prayers. Something terrible happens. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, well, your thoughts and prayers ain't gonna do it. I mean, I get the frustration, but stow it. Just stop it. Maybe that was fine a couple of years ago when you first started seeing that phenomenon, but now it's like a domino thing. It's like if someone says, thinking about the people in, and then, name of city where tragic event happened, thinking about the people in my thoughts and prayers, there will be like 100 just like awful people. Yeah, well, your thoughts and prayers don't work. Hey, now is not the time. If something bad has happened and people are just wishing others well, what do you give a shit about the mechanism that they use to convey their kindness? Stop it. All right, so that's enough of that. But hey, Will, thoughts and prayers if you need them, pal. That's from me to you. Oh God. Okay, so what is happening here? I was screwing with my levels. Just bear with me. Okay, that's fine. That's gonna be fine. I know. What's more irritating than that? Hey, you said you weren't going to do as long a show as normal. Maybe you ought to get to it. Yeah, maybe I ought to. Okay, so here's what we do on this show, the High Noon Show. We run through all of the things that make today so darn memorable. We talk about the history. We talk about the birthdays. We talk about people who passed. And then we get into the topics. We get into everything that's trending, all the headlines, things that people are discussing, whatever people are buzzing about in this world on this particular day. We like to cover it for you here. But first, before we jump into that, I do want to thank a number of you. Hi, Leslie. There's my guy, Jeff. There's my other guy, Jeff. I wanted to thank some of Dustin is here. I don't think I've seen Dustin. Dustin, have you been missing? I don't like that. I don't like Dustin's my travel buddy. I want to thank a number of you, and you know who you are, but I was involved in helping the good Dr. Robert Schwartz. Schwartz is doing a local media project, and I was involved in helping him with the project, kind of like the executive producer / placeholder co-host kind of a deal, whatever, we'll see. But we had to go into a recording studio that he had booked, and we helped him put together a project. And some of you, I reached out to many of you because we needed to simulate what radio callers would be like. So I reached out to a bunch of you guys from the chat room and some other friends from other places, just to sort of simulate what the caller would sound like on Schwartz's proposed project. And thank you so much, James. I'll single out James. Not James. Jeffrey. Oh my God, Jeff Glenn. Thank you, Jeff Glenn. Jeff Glenn did an incredible job last night. Also, our friend Devin did a great job last night. You know who did an absolutely fantastic job last night? McKenna Moore. No, I'm sorry. McKenna DeYoung. I want to get her name right because you should all be remembering it. That is my partner Kelly Moore's daughter, who is a young actress out there in Hollywood, California, trying to make it. She's like the star of a Rat video from the 80s. She's getting off the bus from, rural America, and she's stepping out into the bright lights and glamour of Hollywood. She did a call for us where she portrayed a young woman who was married and upset with her husband about something, and she crushed it, man. Like, I didn't know. Schwartz said to me when I told him who we were having, Schwartz goes, "So we're going to have an 8-year-old on?" I go, "Dude, she's not 8 anymore." She's not 8. She's a young woman and a whale of an actress. Oh my God, was she convincing in her call? It was just really great. So thank you to everybody. There are a number of you who I reached out to as well who just couldn't do it because, time, and it was Mother's Day, and I realized that. So I do appreciate you even considering it. All right, let's get into what today is. That's what we do here on the High Noon Show. Let's cover all the topics. Today is May the 9th. 2 days away from my kid's birthday. I'm very excited. I'll have my kid. I got my kid this week. I'm very excited about it. It's rare that I have him during the week, that I get to do the carpool lane at school and all that kind of stuff. Love it. So excited. Today is the 129th day of the year. There are 236 days remaining until the end of the year. Let's check out today's calendar. Let's see how we're supposed to be. Let me see here. Well, how should we be honoring this day? Let's check the National Day calendar. It's National Alphabet Magnet Day. Stupid. Those are like those refrigerator magnets, right? Stupid. Dumb. It's National Homefront Heroes Day. That's not dumb. I don't know what Homefront Heroes are, but it sounds like something that I shouldn't be snarky about. So God bless the Homefront Heroes, whomever they may be. It's National Women's Checkup Day. What's up, women? Not Women Check Out Day. It's National Women's Check Up Day. You can go get your plumbing looked at. I guess that's what this is about. It's National Butterscotch Brownie Day. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds rich, though. That sounds really rich. It's National Lost Sock Memorial Day. That's the invention. How do you create something that stops from losing? I lose socks. My kid loses socks. I'll put all the socks in the dryer and then they'll come out an uneven number. I got nothing. I'm trying to come up on the fly with an invention that will revolutionize that worldwide problem, but it's National Moscato Day. What's Moscato? Quick, before I click this, anyone in the chat room know what Moscato is? National Moscato Day. May 9th, raise your glass and toast National Moscato Day. Moscato or muskrat. No, I believe that says muscat. in Italian, is one of the oldest known varieties of grapes grown in. Okay, so it's a wine. There you go. Cool. Thank you, Leslie. Leslie knows everything. It's National Sleepover Day. National Sleepover Day. I'll be celebrating by having a sleepover with my kid. Very exciting. How are you going to have National Sleepover Day on a Monday, right? Doesn't that seem like kind of poorly planned? You can't have it. Sleepover Day. That's a kid's thing, right? Oh, man. Do you remember sleepovers? How great sleepovers were? I mean, because when you're a kid, most kids, your lives are just so regimented. There's nothing really exciting. You don't really get to venture all that much outside your neighborhood. You go to school, you play at the park, you see the same people, you go to bed, maybe watch a little TV. Life is just so. But oh man, dude, you want to sleep over tonight? Oh man. Oh, and then you'd be like, Mom, can I sleep over at? And there was always that kid in the neighborhood. Now as an adult, I understand it. But remember, there was always the kid in the neighborhood who always slept over at people's houses, but nobody ever slept over at his house. And you're like, I want to sleep over at his house. Why can't I sleep over? Well, in the case of the kid that I know in my neighborhood, who we never slept over at his house, turns out his dad was a raging alcoholic and a wife abuser. So, maybe that was why we were never allowed to sleep over. And it's not that we weren't allowed to sleep over. It's not like our parents, like my parents would have had a problem with it or anybody else's parents. But it was like, no, they didn't let people sleep over. They didn't want people to see the creepiness that was going on inside that house. So National Sleepover Day on a Monday. Don't exactly know how that's going to work this year, but hey, whatever. Jeff says, National Sleepover Day. What time do you want us there? No. It's me and my kid. Me and my kid are going to have a sleepover tonight. And on a school night, no less. Oh, boy. Well, I guess we do that on Sundays because I take him to school on Mondays when I am for the weekend. All right, let's talk about what today is. 1945. On this day in 1945, during World War II, the final German instrument of surrender is signed at the Soviet headquarters in Berlin. I don't know what the final instrument of surrender would be, but that sounded like a historic moment in World War II and for the world at large. So, we mention it. On this day in 1960, the Food and Drug Administration announces that it will approve birth control as an additional indication for Envoid, the world's first approved oral contraceptive pill. On this day in 1960, the pill was approved by the FDA. Going away any day now, as if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly. The pill is about to be banned. That's next. But here's what's next. The pill, condoms, then they'll work their way into the other things. Then we'll get into interracial marriage. That'll go away. States can do what they want. All right, in Alabama, you can't be married to a person other than your own race. Then we'll get into only Christians can be married because only Christians' God is the real God. So the country won't recognize any other marriages. Forget about gay marriage. That's gone. I'm surprised that's not gone now. We are just changing it up. Whatever. I'm fine. I'm a grown-ass man. I've already been through these battles. I ain't getting married. Whatever. This fight is for you people. I'll support you. I'll be like, yeah, you go. But, I ain't fighting no frontline battles on this stuff. You're so brave. I'm just old and tired. These people, let them work it out for themselves. That's what I say. On this day in 1974, the Watergate scandal, the United States Committee on the Judiciary opens formal and public impeachment hearings against Richard Nixon. How did that play out? Well, he resigned before they could finish it. In 1980, on this day, in Florida, Liberian freighter MV Summit Venture collides with the Sunshine Skyway Bridge over Tampa Bay, making a 1,400-foot section of the southbound span collapse. 35 people in 6 cars and a Greyhound bus fall 150 feet into the water. They all die. How come that doesn't sound all that? How come I don't remember that? That seems like something that I should remember. My God, an entire bridge just felt. And here's all right. So whenever I see these things, like nobody ever collapses off of a bridge in a movie and dies. They always get out of the car. Huh? Well, I guess it's pretty high. I don't want to tempt fate. I hate bridges. I've always had a bridge phobia whenever I'm driving. Oh my God. I hate them. I get a little freaked out. You know that bridge in on 30 when you head into Dallas that goes over like what lake was that? And we decided what lake that was. I'm not sure. I always call it Rockwall Lake, but it's something else. That bridge freaks me out a little bit. I'm like, I don't like this. The Louisville bridges, I don't like them. I don't like them. And you'd think I grew up in a city of bridges. City of Chicago has more bridges. Actually, what is it? It's more because the city of Chicago, there's a river that runs right through it into a lake, and that river branches off into two forks. So you have like where three different rivers meet and create one. So it's all bridges. It's all, bridges everywhere. But those ones don't scare me because they're only like, I don't know, 20 feet over the water, and the bridges are only probably like 50 yards long. But man, when I get in, I was in Florida once and I was on a bridge for what seemed like 40 miles. It was awful. I also hate the really high ones. Those ones I don't like when you're going on the bridge. I don't care if it's only 50 yards, 100 yards, however long the bridge is. You get up on that bridge and you look down and the boats look tiny, forget about it. So 1980 in Florida, big bridge issue happened. I hate bridges. I'm going on record. In 2017, United States President Donald Trump fired FBI Director James Comey on this day in 2017. On this day in 2020, the COVID-19 recession causes the U.S. unemployment rate to hit 14.9%, its worst rate since the Great Depression. Oh, boy, that seems like just yesterday. Well, it was. That's why. Jeff says if you hate bridges, you would hate the drive from Miami to the Keys. Yeah, I've seen it. Not doing it. No, thank you. Let's see here. What is this? Adam's got a friend who's a bridge freak. He says Texas is actually pretty good. We pay for maintenance, and they're all relatively young. All right. All right. Imagine how far you'd have to drive without bridges. Yeah, that is true, Will. No, you're right. Bridges are a necessary evil in my life. I'll take the momentary paranoia over having to circumnavigate a lake or something, or a river that runs the length of the state. No, I understand that bridges are a necessary evil. All right, let's get into some birthdays. Let's talk about some people who are celebrating birthdays on this day. Born on this day in 1918, Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes, American journalist, media personality, and one-time game show host. He's interesting because he is known as like, oh, he was a real newsman, a real journalist. He invented the gotcha question. When Mike Wallace comes to your door, you better run. Mike Wallace was just an actor and a pitchman. He wasn't actually a journalist. Like, he didn't go to journalism school or anything like that. He was a television game show host first, and he got fired, and then he became a pitchman for cigarettes on TV. He was one of those guys on TV. Smoke this brand. That's all he did. And his career was in the toilet. And then he just happened into reporting jobs because back then they were like, well, he looks good in a suit. He could stand outside and report on something. So they made him a reporter. And then again, just by happenstance, he met Don Hewitt, and Don Hewitt was creating something called 60 Minutes. And all of a sudden, Mike Wallace reinvents himself as like America's foremost authority on all things, everything. And he's just a game show host. It's just, he wasn't Cronkite. He wasn't Severide. He wasn't Murrow. He was Mike Wallace. Born on this day in 1940, James L. Brooks. Oh, can we? Whoa, let's got to put that up a little. Can we? No. Yeah. There we go. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for James L. Brooks. James L. Brooks. James L. Brooks is a genius. James L. Brooks is a television creator. He is a movie creator. Born on this day in 1940. So what is he? He's 82 years old today. This guy is he's not often thought of, with the Norman Lears and the Aaron Spellings and those types. But he should be. He might be. James L. Brooks draft. Oh, you better believe it. we are going to give the man his due here on the High Noon Show with a James L. Brooks draft. In the first round of the High Noon James L. Brooks draft, we here at High Noon, starring me, Pugs Moran, select first pick overall, The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Oh, come on. Does it? Oh. And by the way, that wasn't a consensus pick. Back in the draft room, me and CeeLo the dog, we were arguing over whether or not The Simpsons should be the first pick. With the second pick in the James L. Brooks content draft, we will be selecting The Mary Tyler Moore Show. The Mary Tyler Moore. What? You mean he did The Simpsons and Mary Tyler Moore? Arguably two of the top 5 television creations of all time? He sure did. With the third pick, now this is where we went deep into the scouting because this one wasn't a huge hit with the audience, but it has really stood the test of time, and it is one of the great television sitcoms of all time. And you have to understand, this was an era where we were getting Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, We Got It Made. This was like a really bad time for television sitcoms. And James L. Brooks throws down, plops right there on the table, Taxi. Taxi with the third pick overall. Taxi. But James L. Brooks also did movies, so we're going to delve now into some of the films that he made. One of my favorite tearjerkers of all time, a true American classic. James L. Brooks with the fourth pick in the James L. Brooks draft. We are taking Terms of Endearment. Terms of Endearment? Oh! Come on! Deborah Winger, Jack Nicholson, Shirley MacLaine. Oh, so sad. That mother and daughter. Hey, they didn't get along. I was 10 years old and I was moved by it. That's how you know it was good. All right, with the fifth pick and by the way, this fifth pick, it could be number one because it's one of my all-time favorite films. I like it more than Terms of Endearment, but Terms of Endearment was a huge, massive hit, so I had to put that above it. With the fifth pick in the James L. Brooks draft, we go back again to the movies, and I select Broadcast News. Broadcast News. Oh, my God, do I love Broadcast News. Holly Hunter, Albert Brooks, William Hurt, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson he appears in a lot of James L. Brooks stuff. Jack Nicholson in a small role. Broadcast News, so funny. Broadcast News, so funny, so good, so interesting. All right, there you go. That's your James L. Brooks draft, 5-round draft. First round, Simpsons. Second round, Mary Tyler Moore. Third round, Taxi. Fourth round, Terms of Endearment. Fifth round, Broadcast News. But we do have some undrafted free agents that we will be inviting to camp. That's right. We are going deep into the undrafted free agents. You got to do 5. They can't all make it. So here we go. How about Lou Grant? Lou Grant, the TV show. I loved Lou Grant. I was such a weird kid. I'm like 9 years old and I'm obsessed with Lou Grant. You guys remember Lou Grant? It was about a major metropolitan newspaper in the late 1970s. And Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore. It was a spinoff. It was an interesting spinoff because Mary Tyler Moore was a comedy. And they took the Lou Grant character and they spun him off into a drama. The Lou Grant show was a 1-hour drama. Oh, it was so good. So good. Mrs. Pinchon, Rossi. That was a good show. Lou Grant, James L. Brooks' Lou Grant was again another one of these shows that didn't really fit in the era because again, Lou Grant was like competing against garbage like Starsky and Hutch, which, wasn't garbage for me, but I was 7 years old and I didn't know what garbage was. There were cars and shootouts, so I liked it. But Lou Grant was a real grown-up smart show. Again, I don't know what I was doing watching it at 8, but I loved it. Lou Grant, let's have that argument. It could be ground zero for peak TV, the really good TV that would come later. The true early entrance to what we have now, which is some of the best 1-hour dramatic programming in the history of television, and we have for about 20 years. A lot of people will say that peak TV began with Oz, HBO's Oz, and then was immediately followed by The Sopranos, and then you had all the other things that came after, whether you're talking about Dexter or Game of Thrones, all those things, The Wire, all of that stuff. But I would say really the first three, the earliest ones, would be Lou Grant, St. Elsewhere, and Hill Street Blues. Lou Grant, St. Elsewhere, and Hill Street Blues. Those were the first truly remarkable 1-hour shows that were not dumbed down to the audience. All right, so Lou Grant comes in as an undrafted free agent. How about the movie As Good as It Gets? Again with Jack Nicholson. That's a great movie. How about Rhoda? Don't be sleeping on Rhoda. Rhoda was a Mary Tyler Moore spinoff, but hello, this is Carlton, your doorman. I loved Rhoda. Rhoda was great. Say Anything. That's right. Cameron Crowe, of course, gets most of the credit for Say Anything. But it was James L. Brooks who took Cameron Crowe under his wing and said, all right, you got this movie. I'll be in charge of it because I got some stroke in this town. I'll be the exec producer. So Say Anything. Undrafted free agent. And how about Bottle Rocket? Have you ever seen Bottle Rocket? The Wilson brothers, Wes Anderson, Bottle Rocket. He did the same thing for Wes Anderson. James L. Brooks said, you know what? You're pretty good. Let's make Bottle Rocket. You, Wes Anderson, you and the Wilson brothers in your funky Dallas apartment, you can't get this movie made, but I can. James L. Brooks read the script for Bottle Rocket and flew to Dallas and hung out with the Wilson brothers and Wes Anderson when they were living in, I believe, the Villages, not the Villages in Florida, the Village apartments here in Dallas. That's where Wes Anderson and the Wilson brothers, Luke and Owen, were living. And James L. Brooks flew into town and said, let's talk about making this movie. So there you go. You're James L. Brooks. Happy birthday. Undrafted free agents. Well, the Pixar, The Simpsons, Mary Tyler Moore, Taxi, Terms of Endearment, and Broadcast News with undrafted free agents. As Good as It Gets, Lou Grant, Rhoda, Say Anything, and Bottle Rocket. Also born on this day in 1946, Candice Bergen. Candice Bergen. Murphy Brown. But before that, she was Murphy Brown was her second act, what she came in. She was she was a big actress. She's a famous 1970s actress. And yeah, she had something. If you know what I mean. She had something. She wasn't like Pam Anderson something, but she was like that other variety of something where you're the kind that she was like the Marion something. Pam Anderson is who you cheat on your wife with, but Candice Bergen was like the Marion something. Oh my God, did you marry up? Yeah, I sure did. Her dad also never understood her dad. Her dad was Edgar Bergen, right? Yeah, her dad was like a famous ventriloquist. Charlie McCarthy was his little dummy that he had. Do you know when I say I sort of sideline a lot of the big stars from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s because I'm competition wasn't all that great back then. I mean, people were getting famous for people who became superstars in that era would never make it today. Like John Wayne, Bob Hope. Come on, man. I mean, these people, I don't get it. The competition wasn't what it was today. Edgar Bergen, Candice Bergen's dad, he became famous by being a ventriloquist on the radio. What? You can't. It's great because you can't see his lips moving. It's the radio. You can't see his lips moving. Dad, come on, use your imagination and then imagine that you're seeing him and his lips aren't moving. Let's make him a star. I never understood that. I never got how a ventriloquist became famous on the radio, but it doesn't matter. Candice Bergen is still a legendary babe. Born on this day in 1949, train wreck of the day? I don't know. Maybe. Train wreck of the day. Maybe we'll give it to him. Billy Joel, the old piano man himself. Billy Joel draft? No, but I will admit I love Billy Joel. I could do a Billy Joel draft off the top of my head, but it would be no fun for anybody. But I do. I like Billy Joel. I've seen him 3 times. I don't care. Oh, shut up. I don't care. Oh, you're too cool. I don't care. It's music. I don't think that really cool enters into music. You either shut up. Billy Joel is cool. Happy birthday, Billy Joel. Repeat offender in the drunk driving game. That's why he's nominated for Trainwreck of the Day. Happy birthday, Billy Joel. Born on this day in 1970, Ghostface Killah. Ghostface Killah of the Woo. Born on this day in 1979, Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson. And this is interesting because Rosario Dawson, she was linked with, I guess she was dating. I don't know. I think they broke up or something. I don't know. But she was like in a relationship with New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. And I remember when they first hooked up, I'm like, she's gay. I don't get that. Rosario Dawson is gay. She doesn't like dudes. So I did a little research on it, and I had to just make sure that I was right in I know what I'm about to say because I saw it with mine own two eyes. But so she came out years ago, and then she backtracked it where she said, no, never mind, forget it, I'm not. And then she was outed, and I don't know, she's like all over the road. All I know is that we were in LA once, and we went to this, do you remember Wade Phillips? Remember Wade Phillips, the Cowboys head coach? Wade Phillips had a daughter, and his daughter was a, what do they call it, burlesque dancer. And she did this big burlesque show in Beverly Hills at some club in Beverly Hills. It was all fancy, and all the rich celebrities and all that would pack the place every night. And I don't know how it happened, but somehow we became friendly with Wade Phillips' daughter when he was the head coach of the Cowboys. So we were out in LA, and she invited us all to come to the burlesque show. And we're sitting there. I've never been to a burlesque show. It's like fancy stripping without the actual nudity. There's not nudity. It's just, it's just like, I don't know, just weird. It was weird. It was all right. It was an evening. It was like, okay, this is interesting. I've seen it. But the thing that I couldn't stop looking at was Rosario Dawson, who was there. Rosario Dawson was there with another girl. She was there with another girl. She was with another girl. It's not like they were just sitting together. It's not. I mean, we saw things that told us that, I didn't know Rosario Dawson was gay. And this is going back to what? 2008? 2007, whatever. So there you go. Happy birthday, Rosario Dawson. I hope you figure it all out. There's no judgment. Born on this day in 1979, same day as Rosario Dawson, Andrew W.K. Remember that guy? Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Party, 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 party all the time. Let's get the party started. Andrew W.K., he's an interesting guy because he is a performance artist. He is like way out there in the New York performance art scene where, he does really crazy, high society kind of frou-frou art scene, Andy Warhol level type performance art. Weird, non-commercial stuff. And yet he is best known for, performing one of the biggest frat dude hits of all time. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party. Like that was it. That was like his one hit. And it's like, that's a big hit. This guy seems fun. This guy could really lean into the frat boy thing. And he didn't. He went the other direction, where he's like, biting the heads off rats and painting with their blood. He went crazy. He went like maybe that's what he was all the time, but whatever, I'm sure let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Party all the time. Party hard. I think that song was called. Whatever. I'm sure that made him enough money to be able to paint with rats or do whatever the hell it is that he does. Let's talk about some deaths that occurred on this day. Not a whole lot of them on this day. In 2009, NBA icon Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly, the legendary coach of the Detroit Pistons back in the thug era of the Eastern Conference. I like Chuck Daly. I always liked Chuck Daly, even though he was in charge of the Pistons and they were our mortal enemy. There was just something about Chuck Daly that I liked. He looked like Morton Downey Jr. to me. I always looked at him and I went, that's Morton Downey Jr. coaching the Detroit Pistons in 1990. Chuck Daly died on this day in 2009. Died on this day in 2010, Lena Horne, American singer, actress, and activist. Lena Horne died on I don't know who Lena Horne is. I know her name. I mean, I know she's worthy of note. I know that there are other people but I don't know who Lena Horne is. I think I can picture her. I don't know. I'm Black Lady, Black Singer. That's what I think of. But I don't really. I have no. So why are you wasting time on an already announced shortened show? Moving on. Died on this day in 2020. Little Richard, American singer-songwriter. Little Richard died. Little Richard. Him I know. I know Little Richard. He was weird. He was like weird. He was weird by like 1983 standards, but not so weird by 2022 standards. He was obviously a gay guy. He was flamboyantly gay, but it was very confusing to mainstream America because there were a couple of other things going on there. One, mainstream America didn't recognize flamboyant homosexuality. They didn't recognize it because it wasn't as out and prevalent as it is today. And so we just thought, that's how piano players are. I mean, look at the very heterosexual Liberace. Piano players are just that. Look at the very heterosexual and married Elton John. Piano players are just that way. And then also for white America, he was black. And white America didn't really understand. They didn't know anything. There was like 3 black people on TV back then. They didn't really have any understanding of urban culture. So it was just very confusing. But Little Richard, very fabulous performer. I saw him once. I saw Little Richard play at some corporate event for a radio station that started in Chicago about, 20, 30 years ago. Oh, God, I'm so old. Yeah. Anyway, I went there and it was an oldie station. They brought out Little Richard and he played like a couple of songs. And he had to have been an old man then. And he was awesome. He was just like awesome. He was great. All right. So on this day in 2020, Little Richard, he's the woo, right? He's that guy. He's I don't know any of his songs, but there you go. All right, let's check in with the chat room. Will says Little Richard turned into an ultra-conservative Christian in his last few years. How did that jive with his personal life? Byron says he wasn't gay, but his boyfriends were. Oh, hey, there's one. Fred Sanford, Jeff says, was hot for Lena Horne. Yeah, maybe that's why I know her from. I don't know. Will C says that whole album is good. You must be referring to Andrew WK. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party. I used to like that song. That song was fun. Oh, Jeff Glenn is doing. Wait. All right. I'll bite. Did Jeff Glenn do a Billy Joel draft? Let's see. All right, hold on. Did he do a draft? Will says Rosario Dawson is another name I've heard 100 times, but wouldn't know her if I saw her. She's hot. I like her. She's hot. Rosario Dawson was a favorite of mine about 20 years ago. Number 2 son was on We Didn't Start the Fire Kick. Oh, Jeff is talking about his kid. Number 2 son was on a We Didn't Start the Fire Kick just about this time last year. He played it ad nauseum until I told him if he played it again, I was going to make him write me a paragraph on every historical reference in the song. That's funny. Good luck pulling that off. If I told my son that he had to do that, my kid would go, I ain't doing that. And then that would be it, because I would know that the next step would be a screaming match that I would lose. I ain't doing that. You ain't my teacher. Stop it. I ain't writing. That's a fun song. We Didn't Start the Fire is a fun song because of all of the historical, points that it makes and the references and all that. But if we're gonna do that, if we're gonna elevate, songs that are just a bunch of non sequitur references to things, although it's not non sequitur when you start fire, doesn't it? Like sort of progress on a timeline. Yeah, I think it does. But I would go for It's the End of the World. That's the one that I would go with. I would go with REM's It's the End of the World as being better. And that's also We Didn't Start the Fire would not make my Billy Joel draft. It wouldn't make one. See, and that's the other reason I don't want to do a Billy Joel draft, because I go deep. Like probably the entire draft would be from the Stranger album and from 52nd Street. Those late 70s Billy Joel piano player, lyric-driven songs. Oh, man, is that good stuff. And then he got famous and he started doing, whoa! He started doing like stuff that was like, what? This is the guy who wrote The Stranger? What? So that's why we're not doing it. All right, let's talk about what's happening here as far as trends go. All right, trending today, stocks. The stock markets are in. Well, let's see what it is right now. Let's pull up the Dow Jones, see how we're doing today. People are panicking. All right, let's see here. Oh, geez. It's down almost 500 points at the moment. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 492. Hold on, let's refresh. Let's see how this is ticking in real time. Okay, a little bit better. It's down 466. Oh, now it's back up again. 471 down. 471. 475. All right. 473. So it's it ain't good. It is not good. Although it still seems to be the overall is at 32,000, 32.4. So, hey man, I will never forget 15 years ago or so, I remember seeing an economist on TV being asked the question, when will you be comfortable that the Dow is back and that things are beginning to stabilize? And his answer at the time was, when it gets above 12. He said, when it gets above 12,000, then I'll feel comfortable that it's back and that we're on the upswing. We're at 32. We're at 32 now. I mean, it's the rise in the stock market tripled, after. Don't be divisive. Well, it was the quantitative easing, that really sort of jump-started it. Don't say it. Don't say what? Don't say the name. All right. Oh, look, I promised I wouldn't mention Obama on this show, but okay. So it's at 32. It's at 32. So we're fine. We are fine by historical standards. But man, are people are panicking because the wealth in this country over the past 15 years, the people who run the stock market have rebounded from the implosion of 2010. They've like tenfolded their net worth. So, it's so sad. They lost so much money in 2010. Yeah, well, they made it back. You know who didn't make it back? The Mississippi Janitors Union Fund. That never came back. But the guys who were betting with the money from the Mississippi janitors on bullshit derivatives and all that blew it all, they're back. They're back like tenfold. Mississippi Janitors Fund, and by the way, I'm just throwing that out. I don't even know. But there was a whole bunch of working class people funds that were just gambled with by people on Wall Street. And it destroyed everybody. It destroyed everybody. Now you got 90-year-old retired janitors who are back at work pushing a mop because, some dude who drives a Bentley and a Porsche and a Ferrari decided that they were going to play fast and loose with their earnings. So whatever. Hey, but that's it. That's it. You get into one of those deals, you got to trust that the guys on Wall Street are going to do you right. I mean, they won't. And when they lose all your money, they will then at some point in the very near future, like now, increase their own personal wealth tenfold. But that's all right. Why were you a janitor? Don't be a janitor. Be a stock guy instead. All right, so let's look at some of the big ones that have taken hits over the last couple of weeks here. This is Netflix is down 71% year to date. Netflix, but that's pandemic driven. That is, again, I say that. Netflix, again, they increased tenfold during the pandemic. And you can't sustain that because that was just temporary. That was temporary because people weren't going out and doing things. People needed stuff to watch in their house, so they all got Netflix. And now that they're going back out to bars, to concerts, they're going to work every day, they're commuting, they have less time to sit around and binge watch entire seasons of Ozark. So, that's what's happening. So Netflix is down 71% year to date. I'd like to see, here is the fair comparison. Where is Netflix as compared to where they were in, say, 2018? because in 2018, Netflix was one of the biggest and hottest stocks in the world. So let's see where they were in 2018, and then let's compare it to where they are now. If they're at about even, then you know what? It's a wash. You made your money off the pandemic. You profiteered off of the global issues that were going on, and now you're coming back. I'm not going to cry for you. I'm not going to cry for you because you gave your board of directors, huge raises thinking that it would go on forever. Come on. So Netflix is down 71% years to date. Snap is down 50%. I don't know what Snap is. I don't know what that is. Facebook is down 41%. Again, pandemic driven. People don't have as much time to be spending and looking at ads and all that kind of stuff. Uber is down 40%. I don't know why that would be. Because I would think that Uber would have gone down during the pandemic because people were staying put. But Uber is down 40%. Amazon is down 34%. Disney is down 30%. Tesla is down 25%. Google is down 22%. And Bitcoin is in the toilet. Let's check on Bitcoin today. Let's see what my own personal Bitcoin situation is. Yeah, Bitcoin, let's check it out. Let's see. All right, here we go. Bitcoin is currently at, drum roll, down 6.64% for the day. But boy, I'm looking at this little, that's not good. Here, show it. No, I don't know if I can show that to you. No, it won't. But anyway, the Bitcoin thing goes like this. Up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, down. They give me a little graph. So it's definitely the downside of a mountain. All right. So there you go. That's what's happening in the financial worlds. Rich people are taking a beating. That's not true, though. No, it's not true. It's not true. Regular people are taking a beating as well. Rich people will be fine. They'll be fine. They'll figure out a way to make it all work for them. Speaking of rich people, Elon Musk has the world completely concerned for his well-being, not me. Apparently, Elon tweeted that he thinks somebody's trying to kill him. Do you know this story? Have you seen this going around? All right, so here's what Elon tweeted. If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing you. And that got everybody freaking out. Everybody's like, what? Elon Musk concerned fans. He's got fans. He's the richest man in the world, has fans. Elon Musk concerned fans after he wrote a chilling post on Twitter about dying under mysterious circumstances. Musk took to Twitter and said, if I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing you. People took to the comment section to address the world's richest man's concerning post. No, you will not die. The world needs you to reform, one user said in the comments. I hope that user wasn't a truck driver because Elon's trying to put all the truck drivers out of life. Why would you even play like that? Another worried fan said. This comes after Musk fired off a couple of tweets about apparently receiving a chilling message in the Russian media. Here's a quote now. The word Nazi doesn't mean what they seem to think it does, Musk said, and attached what appears to be a translation from a Russian media outlet. Basically, the Russian media is trashing Musk and calling him the number one benefactor of Nazis and fascists in Ukraine for his Starlink system. You know how he when the Russians knocked out the digital capabilities, the connectivity of the people in the Ukraine, Elon Musk, in what was a very cool move by my account, he donated a whole crap ton of his Starlink system, which is a, like an internet. I don't know. I just imagine it's like a big giant modem in the sky. And then so basically Ukraine is connected to the internet because of the efforts of Elon Musk, which is good. Can't take that away from him. But the Starlink systems throughout the Ukraine are being moved into place by NATO forces, which is causing the Russian propaganda machine to start saying that Elon Musk is working with NATO to try and, destroy Russia, blah, blah, blah. So apparently Elon Musk is now worried that he's going to fall victim to one of those Putin poisoning plays, where people just all of a sudden balloon up and they're dead or whatever, however that happens. So that's why Elon Musk and death threats is trending today. Also, sort of related, Twitter porn, which I didn't know this. I guess I'm very proud of how I've curated my Twitter feed. That's what I like about Twitter over Facebook. I like that I can really just follow the people that I'm interested in. I can block all the nonsense out, and I can just kind of have some semblance of civility and the myriad of my personal interests that all come to me on my Twitter feed. But apparently porn is allowed on Twitter, which I was not aware of. I did not know this because I guess if you follow porn stars, okay, so here's how it works as I understand it. If you follow porn stars and stuff on Twitter, which I don't, not because I'm not a prude or anything. I don't know. If there was a porn star with something interesting to say, I might, I'd follow him. But apparently porn stars are allowed to post like really graphic pornography on their Twitter feeds, which honestly I didn't know, because I don't think you can't do that on Facebook, right? I don't know. I don't think Facebook allows that. So here's a former porn star says Elon Musk needs to ban X-rated content from Twitter. All right, hold on, former porn star, and we'll get to you in a minute. Elon Musk isn't in charge of Twitter yet. That hasn't gone through. There's a lot of moving parts here, and there are a lot of people who say that it's actually never going to happen, that he's not going to end up taking it over. There's an agreement in principle, but there are a lot of things that have happened, most notably the collapse of the stock market, since this has occurred. So let's just tap our brakes before we start giving Elon Musk assignments to fix Twitter to suit our own needs. Ex-porn star Lisa Ann. I don't know who that is. I am looking at her. She's a very pretty woman. She looks older. Pretty lady. It's like I'm tempted right now to just Google her, at least I see her in action. An ex-porn star has hit out at the amount of smut on Twitter and called on Elon Musk to clean up the platform. Lisa Ann, she's 49. There you go. Lisa Ann, 49, has urged the world's richest man to address the problem. The former adult entertainer says it's too easy for children and young people to find explicit content while using Twitter. Well, what is the age? Is it 13? I don't know. I guess I should know this because my kid's about to turn 13. Is that the age where you're allowed to get a Twitter account and Facebook and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm sure my kid will know. Although I wonder, my kid doesn't seem all that interested in Twitter and Facebook. And maybe that's a generational thing. Maybe this new generation that is emerging or growing into, that age, maybe they're not as, he texts and he uses something. You know what? I don't even know. My kid does use certain things to communicate with his friends, but it isn't Facebook or Twitter. It's like Discord, which I think I'm supposed to be concerned about. I don't know. I wonder if like Twitter and Facebook are just going to at some point roll into just like the place where old people go. I don't know. The former adult entertainer, what was her name? Lisa Ann, 49. The former adult entertainer says it's too easy for children and young people to find explicit content while using Twitter. Speaking on, you mean when the pop-up says, "Are you 18?" and you click yes, you mean that's not a strong enough barrier to keep, pubescent boys from looking at smut on Twitter? Just clicking, just lying. Are you 18? For the purposes of this click, I am. That's not so stupid. There are adult locks and stuff. Yeah, there are. I guess I'm going to have to learn all that stuff. The former adult entertainer says it's too easy for children and young people to find explicit content while using Twitter. Speaking on her podcast. She's got a podcast. Lisa, whose real name is Lisa Ann Corpora, said that she's not against pornography. Well, I should hope not if she's a former porn star, but she is against it being accessible to underage viewers, calling Twitter the largest distributor of illegal content to minors. She urged Musk to do something about it when he takes charge of Twitter. She told her audience, something I really hope Elon Musk takes a step ahead and says, we're not doing this anymore. And if we are, you'll have to enter your birthday. There will have to be an ID situation. There will be levels to this stuff. That's what I'm hoping, Lisa Ann Corporo says. So my disdain for porn on social media has nothing to do with porn other than the fact that you are sharing it on platforms that have no age gate. I got to be honest, she sounds pretty smart. She sounds like a dummy. I mean, that's a legitimate concern for a grown-up. I'll tell you what, oh, wow, look at this. This is her little Twitter thing. Oh, look at her. Do I dare follow Lisa, the real Lisa Ann? Do I? She's kind of pretty. Okay, now I've been triggered. Now I'm interested in this. Let's see what she's talking about here.
I hope that we can reach a place where we all understand the mission statement of Dudes Do Better is so we have a better understanding how to act. I mean on social media, I mean in person, I mean by email, I mean in all correspondence and IRL in real time. How to act, how to conduct ourselves, how to be mindful of other people.
All right, there you go. I don't know. I think she's probably made some money because she appears to be live streaming from a penthouse apartment. It looks pretty cool. So there you go. That's Lisa Ann. She is calling on. She's pretty. She's real pretty. I mean, she looked real. She didn't look like porn star. She didn't look. Oh, Mr. Popular. It's gonna be spam. It's gonna be spam. Spam call. California. I don't want to deal with that. All right, moving on. What else do we have here? Also trending today right now, NBA MVP Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets has been named the NBA MVP for the season. He is now a back-to-back winner of the award. He beat out closest Joel Embiid and, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So there you have it. Nikola Jokic, who two-time MVP, plays in Denver, plays in a place that. Well, I guess maybe if you're a fan of the Western Conference, I'm not. I mean, I like the Mavericks, but I'm more when it comes to my NBA watching. I'm telling you, I don't know. Joel Embiid had a monster season. That guy. All right, what else do we have here? Chris Woodward. Look at this. Chris Woodward is trending. Who's Chris Woodward, Dallas? I mean, people don't even know who Chris Woodward is. He is the manager of the Rangers, the Texas Rangers baseball team. And he's trending because he took a shot at New York. So that's why he's trending, because people in New York are like, hey, what's this guy saying, huh? Chris Woodward has complained now openly. He's bitching and moaning, and he's right. He is absolutely right. He is complaining about that ridiculous bandbox that goes by the name of Yankee Stadium, because I guess the Rangers split a doubleheader yesterday with the Rangers, and there was a home run. Look, there are home runs hit in Yankee Stadium. Yankees got a bunch of sluggers. No, they don't. They got a bunch of guys who hit 280-foot home runs. That's not a slugger. That's that porch, that right field porch in Yankee Stadium. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely moronic. Chris Woodward is being criticized because he's arguing that a home run from last night's game would not have been a home run in 99.9% of other stadiums in baseball. And that's true. That's true. That stadium, some of the alleys in that stadium are so freaking ridiculous. You know what else is ridiculous, though? Oh, don't do it. Don't start dissecting baseball stadiums. Baltimore. Baltimore is like playing on the moon. Baltimore is the direct opposite of Yankee Stadium. Baltimore, oh my God, things that would be home runs in 99% of the other stadiums in baseball are just pop flies in Baltimore. That stadium is stupid. Dumbass, big, gigantic stadium. All right, moving on. That's why Chris Woodward is trending. UFO is trending. This was going to get my attention. UFO is trending. I want to show this to you guys. UFO is trending because researchers have released what they are calling the best photograph of a UFO ever to have been taken. And it was taken like 50 years ago, but apparently they've fixed it. Let's get this pulled up. Apparently they've enhanced it, and this is being called the best photo of a UFO ever taken. So let me share this with you. As you can tell from my voice, that's some bull crap, because here you go. There you go. That is the best pic. What is that? Here's the UFO. Oh boy, don't want to ruin that. Here is the supposed best. See this where my pointer is? I don't know if you can see that on the screen. That's it right there. That's off to the left, sort of middle. What we're seeing is this picture was taken from a plane that was flying over it. What we're looking there is the coast of Costa Rica. And this picture was taken like 50 years ago or something. And there it is. There's a little flying saucer, and they've enhanced it, and it still shows us nothing. But it's the best picture of, oh, come on. They got better pictures. They just ain't showing them to us. Oh, don't go there. Don't go. They ain't showing them to us. They got them. People are seeing these things all the time. And now, especially, you got to go back 50 years to find an enhanced photo and claim. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody. There are videos on YouTube that are absolutely 100% believable, that are better. Why can't we get a really good picture? What? Moving on. That's why UFO is trending today. Let's look at Letterman. David Letterman is trending. David Letterman. Why is he trending? Well, because he was performing at the Netflix Just for Laughs festival, which is going on. I guess it's a touring thing. It was made famous a couple of nights ago when Dave Chappelle got jumped on stage by a crazy person who basically nothing happened to. They were just like nothing. David Letterman shared an unexpected message in reference to the Dave Chappelle incident during a comedy set. The TV interviewer was performing at the Netflix as a Joke Festival in Los Angeles on Friday when he addressed the moment that Chappelle was attacked on stage. Chappelle was on stage at the Hollywood Bowl on Tuesday when a man lunged at him. The attacker was detained by security and removed from the scene. Police later revealed that the man, who was identified as Isaiah Lee, was armed with a replica gun that can eject knife blades. According to the Los Angeles Police Department, Lee, 23, was held on Thursday. Okay, we don't care. We know all this. David Letterman so basically here's all he did. During Letterman's set, the TV interview suddenly jumped in fright and ran off the stage. When he returned, he said, "I'm sorry. I thought I saw a guy coming up here. I'm sorry. It's just been a little alarming. You know what I mean?" That's why Letterman is trending. Letterman asked, how many of you would like to take a shot at me right now on stage? While Letterman didn't specifically name Chappelle, the video was uploaded on Netflix's social media channels with the title, David Letterman on the Dave Chappelle Incident. What else did he say? He said something. What's going on? Oh, they're building that fence. He also said, if any of you do want to take a shot at me, meet me in the lobby after the show. I'll be there waiting for you. Old man David Letterman. I'm of the generation where Letterman can't do any wrong. I love Letterman, but that's not really what I was hoping it would be. He didn't have any real content, any real interesting thing to say on it. He was just being silly on stage. Mickey Gilley is trending. Mickey Gilley has died. Mickey Gilley, I don't know. You know what? I don't know any Mickey Gilley songs, but he was very big. But here's the funny story about Mickey Gilley as I was reading about him. Mickey Gilley wasn't really all that famous until after Urban Cowboy. Mickey Gilley was sort of he's a country singer. He's a country singer, and but he was more like an opening act, and he had a couple of songs on the radio, and I think he may have had one or two hits, but he wasn't like a big king of country music. And then Urban Cowboy was made at his bar Gilley's in Pasadena, Texas, and it just catapulted him personally into the upper echelon. He had 9 number one hits in the 3 years following Urban Cowboy. And a haircut. Whenever I think of Mickey Gilley, I think of that haircut. He had a haircut back then that you still see on Texas dudes today. Now, typically it's older Texas dudes, but I mean, it's just like, it's like the Texas haircut. It's I don't know. It's sort of like, well, just look at a picture of Mickey Gilley from 1985 and you'll see what I'm talking about. Country star Mickey Gilley remembered after his death. Let's see here. Mickey Gilley, who inspired the 1980 film Urban Cowboy and his namesake Dallas bar and Pasadena bar. Yeah, there was a Gilley's. Is Gilley still here? I've had some fun times at Gilley's Dallas. I've never but Gilley's Dallas, like there's a Gilley's Dallas is the biggest honky tonk in the world. Well, I've been to Billy Bob's Fort Worth. I thought Billy Bob's was the biggest honky tonk. I love Billy Bob's. Woo! I had fun at Billy Bob's. I've had fun at Gilley's too, but I've had better times at Billy Bob's. One of the reasons that I love Fort Worth so much is because of Billy Bob's. I just love it. That place is crazy. It's a bar and they got like live cattle roping in the bar. It's just crazy. There's an arena. It's so cool. Anyway, on Saturday, the country singer was remembered not only for his music, but for inspiring a nationwide wave of country-themed night spots. It's a sad day indeed. Mickey made a big contribution to country music, said Chris Knowles, operations manager at Billy Bob's, Texas. With a Texas-sized dance floor and more than 100,000 square feet of entertainment space, Billy Bob's has hosted some of Texas music's biggest stars, including Mickey Gilley. Gilley, known as the pioneer of the urban cowboy movement, first opened his honky-tonk Gilley's in Pasadena, Texas. When it closed in 2003, he opened Gilley's Dallas with 90,000 square feet of event space. According to Billy Bob's management, he was less than thrilled when the establishment first opened and deemed itself to be the world's largest honky-tonk. There was a little competition between Billy Bob's and Gilley's for sure, said Knowles. Still, Knowles said Gilley's helped shape the idea of what a Texas-sized honky-tonk could be. I think what he has contributed will continue to last for decades and decades. Here's some interesting stuff about Mickey Gilley. Mickey Gilley and his cousins, man. This is so crazy. Dirt poor Mickey Gilley growing up, wearing, I don't know, hand-me-downs and just like a total hillbilly. I just say it, hillbilly, living in holes and eating crawfish and just like his cousins, his running buddies when he was little, his 2 first cousins went on to be Jerry Falwell, the disgraced preacher, and Jerry Lee Lewis, the legendary, iconic rock and roll guy. Jerry Lee Lewis is said to be the reason that Mickey Gilley went into music because Mickey Gilley saw his cousin Jerry Lee doing this. And when I say cousin, it's not like, it's your cousin, you only see him in the holidays. No, they lived in the same plot of land growing up and they did everything together. These 3 just nothing from nowhere cousins somehow all become famous. That's great. Gotta applaud that, man. That's nuts. So there you go. So now I think Jerry Lee, I think Jerry Falwell is gone, and I think Mickey Gilley is gone. So we still got Jerry Lee Lewis? I don't even know. See the last one standing? No idea. Okay. So also I saw this. This was trending on yesterday. Dead Celebrity Tracker. So let's see this. We add Mickey Gilley to the list, but here are the celebrities who we have lost already in the year 2022. Let's run these down. All right. So the first offering we have here. Okay, I don't know who that is. So Peter Bogdanovich, the filmmaker, Peter Bogdanovich, he died this year already. Calvin Simon, the founder of Funkadelic, Parliament Funkadelic, he died. Sidney Poitier has died this year in the year 2022. Also, who else? We've got Bob Saget. That's right. You forgot about Bob Saget. Bob Saget died. Dwayne Hickman, Dobie Gillis from the Ronnie Spector. Be my little baby. Ronnie Spector has died in 2022. Who else? I don't know who Gaspard Ulliel is. He's a French actor. Meatloaf. Meatloaf died in 2022 so far. Louis Anderson. Louis Anderson died in 2022. Howard Hessman. Dr. Johnny Fever died in 2022. I don't know who Bobby Nelson is. It's a country singer, Bobby Nelson. William Hurt, mentioned him earlier with Broadcast News. William Hurt died in 2022. Madeleine Albright has died in 2022. Taylor Hawkins died in 2022. Paul Herman. We'll stop on Paul Herman because you might not know who he is. If you like gangster movies, Paul Herman was in every gangster movie. If you know The Sopranos, Beansy. He was a regular in The Sopranos. He was Beansy. Remember Beansy in the wheelchair because Richie Aprile ran him over and then backed over him again? Beansy, Paul Herman. He died this year. Here are some interesting ones. Estelle Harris died. Estelle Harris died in 2022. Who's Estelle Harris? George Costanza's mom from Seinfeld. George Costanza's mom from Seinfeld died in 2022. But also, and this is what's so weird about it. Hold on, let me find it. Where is it? Okay, we're going to have to go back here, obviously. Liz Sheridan died in 2022. So Estelle Harris, who was Costanza's mom, died in 2022. But so did Liz Sheridan, who was Jerry's mom. She played Jerry Seinfeld's mom. Gilbert Gottfried died in 2022. Who else had died in Dwayne Haskins died in 2022. We mentioned Bobby Rydell died in 2022. And let's add Mickey Gilley to the list of celebrities who have already passed in 2022. All right, of all of those, just off the top of my head, the ones that affected me greatest, people who died in 2022 draft, Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins is number one. Yeah, Bob Saget is number two. Howard Hessman is number three. Louis Anderson would be number four. And you know what? I'm going to say it. Number five, Estelle Harris, Mrs. Costanza. She was so funny. That's it. There you go. Celebrities of 2022 who have died draft. Did I leave anybody off? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. This is a bring back. Okay. So this is, on Friday, we talked about how excited I was about the Miami F1 race, the Formula One race that was coming to Miami. They raced yesterday. Congratulations to Red Bull and Max Verstappen for holding off Ferrari. It was an exciting race. It was a great race. Miami looked awesome. And on Friday, I told you guys about, did I not say Gilbert Gottfried? Did I forget Gilbert Gottfried? Byron, you know what? That may have been my miss. I'm sorry. Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried makes the list. He'll replace Estelle Getty, Mrs. Costanza. I told you guys about Martin Brundle and about how excited I was to see Martin Brundle do his grid walk in America. Martin Brundle is a former Formula One racer, auto racing champion, icon of the sport. And for the last 20 years, Martin Brundle has been the guy that they send down onto the grid, which is basically in America, I guess we call it pit lane. They send him down to pit lane with a camera and a microphone, and he just bumps into celebrities and interviews them. And this is a thing in Formula One. There's a lot of a lot of European money, princesses and kings and, soccer stars, football stars, movie stars, all those people. The tradition in Formula One is that all of these people just mill about around the cars before it starts, and then a signal goes off, and everybody, boom, in the grid vanishes, and it's just the cars. But it's like a giant cocktail party for an hour or so before the cars take off, and it's just all these fancy people hanging out. So they send Martin Brundle down there with a camera. He's been doing it for 20 years. It's called his grid walk. It's a very popular thing. So they send him down there to just bump into people. Part of the deal with Martin Brundle is that he don't give two Fs. Martin Brundle don't care. Martin Brundle is an icon in his own right. He's not impressed by whoever you are because you're famous now. And that is part of the appeal. That is why people love him, because he doesn't really do his homework. And someone will tell him in his ear, Martin, that person in front of you, just start talking to him. And then he'll just start talking to him. And it'll be like, P. Diddy, Martin Brundle won't know who he is. And it's great. And people absolutely love it. So I was excited about the new crop of people that he would be running into in Miami, because they don't race in America. So this was going to be all American celebrities. And oh my God, was it American celebrities? Everybody was out there. I mean, everybody from the Williams sisters to Michelle Obama to Captain America himself to everybody, rock stars, musicians, supermodels, all of that stuff. So American audiences who are maybe unfamiliar with what F1 races look like, but who have now gravitated to the sport based on the success of the Netflix show Drive to Survive, because that's the reason that there went from one F1 race in America to 4 in the next coming years is because of the Netflix series. Because people who don't watch F1 just started watching this series and were like, this is really interesting. It is. It's a very good documentary. The drama that they create, there's infighting. It's good. It's good reality TV. It's male oriented. It's for guys, more so than girls. But anyway, so a lot of people came out to the Miami race just because they want to see what all the hype is about F1. And a lot of people watching had never really seen a grid walk before. So the American people commenting on Martin Brundle's grid walk got Martin Brundle trending. And there's like these fights going on now on Twitter between like just arrogant Americans who have no idea what they're looking at. And they're just saying that old man should not be out there. That is sad. And then like people from Europe are like, you don't know who that is. You're an idiot. What do you mean he shouldn't be out there? That is like saying that, whatever. Anyway, but there was one incident that started trending that is really, really funny that I wanted to show you. And this was from Martin Brundle's grid walk on Sunday. He got blown up. He was treated poorly by Venus Williams, who sucks. She was very rude to him. She didn't know who he was. She thought that he was like, what are you, some local reporter from the CW? No, Venus, he is an icon of the sport. If you don't know who Martin Brundle is, then you don't belong on the grid. You don't. If you don't know who the important people, he's important down there. He's beloved. The owners of the teams run to him. The billionaires who own Ferrari and shit, they run to him to get a little bit of attention from Martin Brundle. So this was Martin Brundle, who had no idea who he was interviewing. He thought he was interviewing Patrick Mahomes. So there you go. This was one of the best parts of the grid walk from Sunday. Martin Brundle, under the impression he's interviewing somebody named Patrick Mahomes.
Who else can we find on this grid? No matter find anybody. Right, let's called Patrick Mahomes on the grid. He's a bit of a sporting legend out there. Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see if we can mooch this way. And, you can clearly get a few passes for the grid these days, can't you? And let's see if we can find actually anybody. Where is this guy? There's a really tall guy there. That must be him. Is that?
Remember, the whole bit with Martin Brundle is you can't impress him, and he don't give two Fs.
And
that's the
Balenciaga
joke.
Top. I can right. Let's dive in.
He's not impressed by celebrity, so they purposely put him in a sea of celebrities.
In there, then. Oh, hang on, we've got to get around there. Patrick, Martin Brundle, Formula One television in England.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear me up there. Patrick, how are you? Good to see you on the grid here. What do you think of this atmosphere?
This is crazy. I've never been to an F1 race. This is spectacular.
It's amazing to be alive right in the middle of the competitors just before the race starts.
Yeah, now you can see they're locked in. It reminds me of myself. But the real focus.
Okay, it's not Patrick. That's why he ignored me in the beginning. But what is your name, sir?
Paulo Banchero.
Right, okay. Well, I thought I was talking to somebody else. So I'm sorry about that. Whatever.
Whatever. That is Duke University star basketball player and probably first pick overall at the NBA draft, Paulo Banchero, and he thought he was talking to Patrick Mahomes, and his response is, whatever. And then he goes right over into DJ Khaled, who he also didn't really give two craps about. He was like, and you are? Come on, it's fun. It's fun. It was great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for more of this stuff to go. Again, I will say this again. If you are an American celebrity who is just there to be seen because it's a hot thing that everybody's talking about now, F1. If you're just there to be seen and you don't know how to behave on the grid, get your ass off the grid. Okay? He is not some dude that you can just be rude to. Okay? He is an icon of the sport. He is somebody that people in, the other parts of the world, when they see him coming, they're like, oh, we got to please. Oh, maybe Martin will talk to us. Maybe. But here you get Serena and Venus Williams who have no idea. Even Megan Thee Stallion at Monaco stopped and talked to him because her PR person was like, no, you got to stop. She was trying to walk away from him like, I can't be bothered. And then her PR person was like, that's Martin Brundle. He's got a worldwide audience. You need to talk to him. All right, so that's what happened there. A lot of people are saying that Americans are being criticized. Americans have no idea what this sport is, and shame on them. Yeah, it's going to take a while. What is this one? Hold on, let's see what this is.
Can we have a quick?
Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll see this one. This is, I have not vetted this one. This looks to be the second time he tried to approach Venus Williams, and she didn't give a crap.
Venus, can we have a quick word? Martin Brundle, Sky F1. Can I give you a second chance with that question? Good stuff. You're with Lewis, yeah, and you're fighting for your man today. Yeah, I think that was a firm no, wasn't it?
Okay, I don't know what that is, but all right. That didn't look like that was from Miami either. That looked like, and I don't think Venus Williams is with Lewis Hamilton. I don't think I think they're friends. Venus and Serena were again there hanging out with Lewis Hamilton in Miami. Lewis Hamilton is the Tom Brady of F1. Lewis Hamilton is like the all-time winner in races and all. He's a god. He's a freaking god. Also, which is funny, only black guy ever in the history of F1, and he's the best. He's like, they let one black guy in, and he's the best of all time. 7 times in a row, he was the champion. He's just crazy. I personally, I love Lewis Hamilton. Drives for Mercedes. He's a very exciting guy. One of the highest paid athletes in the world. Like, it's not even close. Like hundreds of millions of dollars a year. That dude is worth some cash. American migration is trending. American migration. Let's take a look at this. This is, so where in the country are people moving to? People are moving about in the country. Let's see what this has to do. Let's see. Will says, we're the USA. We decide what's a legitimate sport. Looking at you, cricket. Yeah. Hey, do you know that they're building, I think it's in Los Angeles, they're building like a $500 million international cricket stadium. But like, are we going to have to deal with that now? Am I going to have to learn cricket? I mean, look, I understand that there's like a couple billion people in India and Pakistan, and they love that sport. And I guess it's kind of popular in England, but I don't see cricket. I don't. We got baseball here. Adam says he seems like a smug British dude. You have to show respect to get respect. I don't blame anyone for being annoyed with him. You're an idiot. You just don't know. You're dumb. You're ignorant. You don't know the situation. He's not smug at all. He's actually very lovable, but he doesn't put up with pretension. And that's why people like him, because there are a lot of people in F1 who are very pretentious, and Martin Brundle is not. Martin Brundle is just like the guy at the bar who will chat up anybody. You don't know what you're talking about. He's beloved for a reason, you ignorant ass. But don't let that stop you from sharing your opinion. Fewer Americans are moving than ever before. So American migration is it's slowed. It was big for a while. This according to the recent U.S. Census Bureau, but a new report says that people who are taking the plunge are flocking to some familiar cities. Okay, so here's what we got. We have, I wonder what Martin Brundle would think of you, Adam Reyna. Now that would be something I'd like to. I'd like to see you and Martin Brundle spend 3 minutes together in an elevator, and then I want to ask Martin Brundle what he thought of your contrarian ass. Well, that guy seems like he's just kind of anti-everything, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. So here are the cities in America. There should be no surprise. These are the cities in America that most people have moved to within the last year. Okay, so here we go. Number 1 is Houston. Houston. People are moving to Houston. Number 2, Las Vegas. Number 3 is Phoenix. Number 4 is Charlotte, North Carolina. Number 5 is Denver. Number 6 is San Antonio. Number 7 is Dallas, Texas. Comes in number 7 on the list of cities where people are migrating to in the United States. Number 8 is Orlando, Florida. Number 9 is Austin, Texas. And number 10, my hometown of Chicago. That's right. After years of people moving out, Chicago, which it says here hasn't ranked in the top 10 since 2015, is the 10th most moved to city in America, according to a study provided by the U.S. Census and Penske. Penske, the moving company, the movers. So Houston, Vegas, Phoenix, Charlotte, Denver, San Antonio, Dallas, Orlando, Austin, and Chicago are the top 10. The Chicago one is shocking because I moved out of I literally moved from 10 to 7. You ready for this? I moved from city 10, where people are moving to city 7, to where people are moving to, exactly 1 year ago today. 1 year ago today. It's my 1 year anniversary. That's right. I pulled into Dallas on Sunday afternoon, May the 9th, 2021, and I never looked back, baby. Dropping my roots full time. Or until my kid goes to college, because I have like this weird kind of thing that I'm going to be like a nomadic. Like I'll be able to whatever profession it is that I'm doing, I'll be able to do this anywhere. So when my kid goes to college, I'm going to move. I keep telling him this. I go, dude, when you go to college, I'm moving to your college town. I'm going to move there. I'm going to get an apartment. I'm going to do whatever I need to do there. I'm going to have, I work in I am pretty much committed to an industry of project creation that will allow me to do it anywhere because, and he's like, well, that'd be cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to think it's cool. And then don't worry. I don't want to hang out with you and your friends and stuff. He's like, I don't know. Is that going to be fun? Can I live with you? You're not going to want to live with me. You're going to want to come over and borrow money from me. That's, going to be the real thing that you're going to appreciate, me living in the same college town you go to. What if I don't go to college? Yeah, all right, then we'll just get a bachelor pad together. Whatever. It's coming. I know that it's been 1 year since I moved here. I know the exact date. Well, because it's a Monday now and it was a Sunday last year. I know that's 1 year. But I was delayed. I was supposed to be here like weeks before I actually moved, but I couldn't get scheduled for my second COVID shot, right? And I just wanted to have all that done before I moved down here. I didn't want to be whatever. So I had to wait for my second COVID shot, and then I left on the 8th to move down here. Yeah, it took me 2 days because I stayed the night. I like to stay the night. I like to break that drive up. But I remember because I had to be back here before his birthday. His birthday's the 11th. So, 9th. Made it by 2 days. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Earl Thomas. That's right. Former NFL star Earl Thomas. He's trending. Apparently the police are looking for him. Old Earl Thomas got himself in a little bit of trouble. He's not handling his relationships well. It says here, Thomas, 33, last played in the National Football League in 2019. An arrest warrant has been issued for Thomas after he allegedly violated a court order. According to reports, Thomas allegedly sent threatening messages to a woman and her child. Court records show the warrant signed April 27th charges Thomas with a third-degree felony for at least 2 violations within 12 months of a protective order that dates back to May of 2021 that stated that he could only communicate with the woman through a co-parenting phone app. Trey Dolezal, who represents Thomas in his ongoing divorce from the woman, told the paper that the arrest warrant stems from Thomas reaching out to the woman to see their children. Nina Thomas filed for divorce from Earl in November of 2020. Thomas's attorney, Trey Dolezal, commented, Dolezal? Where do we know that name from? Dolezal. Oh, Rachel Dolezal, black lady, not black lady, white lady. Yeah, remember her? Rachel Dolezal. There we go. Didn't think that was a common name, but here we go. We got Trey Dolezal. Well, I wonder what color Trey Dolezal is. Now I'm interested. What color is high-end divorce attorney Trey Dolezal? They weren't conscious. Why does that matter? Well, it only matters in the context of Rachel Dolezal. That's all. I'm just being silly. Yeah, well, don't be silly like that. They were consciously and collectively working together to see his kids, Dolezal told the paper. I don't really understand how he could be in violation by working together to visit his children. Thomas is hoping to resume his NFL career this year. Well, this ain't going to help. This stuff ain't going to help. I mean, this is not, some people do not handle the whole custody thing well. Some people allow ego and anger, and some people are just a little bit emotionally broken and they don't process these very serious subjects about access to your children and all that kind of stuff. Some people just don't. Ooh. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that Earl Thomas did something wrong because his ex-wife, who is obviously pissed at him about stuff, is saying that he did something wrong. He wants to see his kids. From what I just read, it didn't sound like there are any real atrocious details. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Now let me look at that again. Did I misread anything? Because what did he do? It was just because he contacted her. Oh, yeah, that's all it was. He contacted her directly instead of using the court set up co-parenting app. Let's see here. An arrest warrant has been issued for Thomas after he allegedly violated a court order. Well, you can't do that. But man, how does it get to that point? And his attorney says they were consciously and collectively working together for him to see his kids. So it wasn't even a situation where you can't see your kids. Oh my God. How little brains allow these kinds of real sensitive situations to, I can get how they spin out of control, but man, you got to check your ego. You got to make sure that you are in full control of your emotions. These things are very touchy, but that's my kid. Yes, it is. Process that appropriately. There's no reason for you to be standing on a front lawn with your ex-wife on the phone calling the police. Whoa, how does that? Trust me, have the kid in mind when you're doing all of this stuff. Stop being selfish. But I want to see my kid. Well, the courts will allow you to see your kid as long as you're not an idiot. If you're not somebody who has, a long track record of not being trustworthy with the kids. If you are not trustworthy with the kids, then you know what? I'm on the side of the courts. But if you're just a regular dad going through a divorce thing, they're going to let you see the kids. They're going to work it out. What about when the woman lies? Well, okay. That's why you have lawyers, I guess. But it would be my hope that you would be able to find some common ground that's in the best interest of the kid. But this story here, I didn't hear anything particularly terrible, other than the fact that he texted his wife directly and didn't use some court-ordered phone app, and now it's a violation of a court order, and now he's going to go to jail, and whatever. Also in the world of football, Packer shareholder. Now this is so great because I hate the Green Bay Packers. And look, if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan of any measure, you should hate the Green Bay Packers too. That's one thing that Bear fans and Cowboy fans should have in common is our mutual distaste for the Green Bay Packers. Let's see. Byron says, or if you're like me, the mother doesn't show up to custody hearing and you get to raise your daughter alone. Well, I'm sorry that sounds like I don't know. I guess if that's what you wanted, then good. But yeah, that sounds like not exactly a very well engaged. You know what I'm saying? Mom, I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine just not. Fine, we're done. All right, you take the kid. I'm gone. But I don't know enough about your situation to really riff on it. So please, I'm gonna back off. But God bless you, single dad. Single dads don't get enough credit. They really don't. Single moms get all kinds of credit, and in most cases, I mean, certainly not across the board, there are some shit single moms. But for the most part, it seems like we only consider the plight of the single mom. The single dad also has a lot of shit they got to deal with. God love them. It's like the only time we see the single dad is in like cop movies from the 1980s. It's like those cops are always raising a single dad raising a teen daughter, always 100%. And she's worried about him. And there's always going to be a scene where she doesn't come home. That's my daughter, and then he turns into the cop. It's the only time we pay any attention to the single dad is in cop movies from the 80s. All right, this is this story, man. Let me tell you something. If you have never been to Green Bay, Wisconsin, you simply must avoid it at all possible ways. There is no reason to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. It is awful. It is first of all, let me be clear. Wisconsin is like 90% amazing. Milwaukee is such a fun town. Madison is such a fun town. Then there are all of these lake towns that make up the rest of Wisconsin, and they are nirvana. They are utopia. They are wonderful. It's all jet skiing and boating and fishing, and in the winter it's snowmobiling and skiing. And look, it is amazing in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is one of my favorite places in the planet. And then you have Gary, Indiana on the Bay, which is what Green Bay is. It's just this garbage town filled with garbage people with factories. And it's just like, ugh. So that is just, so if you ever have an opportunity to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, avoid it at all cost. No reason to see that abomination. Green Bay Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy has a monthly column on the team's website where he answers questions from fans and shareholders. That's the other thing that irritates me about Green Bay Packer fans. We're all shareholders. It is kind of a cool concept that Green Bay is owned by the people of the town. Like, it's like, you need a free agent? Well, we're going to have to raise taxes. What's his 40 time? It's good. Raise my taxes. I mean, that's an oversimplification of how it's done. But kinda. I mean, the town owns the team. So as long as the town is flush with Green Bay Packers president Mark Murphy has a column on the team's website where he answers questions from fans and shareholders. It generally appears to be softball questions like any fun events planned for the shareholders meeting, or comments about, that Paul McCartney concert was awesome. But for some reason, this month's edition also featured an absolutely wild letter from a shareholder named Marilyn. She does not waste time getting to her point. This question comes via Packers.com. So not only is this the voice of a Green Bay Packer shareholder citizen, but they published this question on Packers.com, which is just like, what? Why would you even? Okay. So here's the question from Marilyn, a longtime Packer fan and shareholder. Out of the 11 players drafted by the Packers in 2022 NFL draft, none of them were white. That's her problem. They didn't draft any white players. I also looked at the first 2 rounds of 64 and found that only 11 players drafted by all the teams were white. When I Googled the question, how many white overall players were drafted, Google wouldn't answer it. I wonder why. Well, maybe because it doesn't really make any sense. Maybe if you had included NFL draft, how many? Come on, lady. She says, I sure hope we aren't going to have to hear all the whining about equity, justice, and all the markings on hats and shoes and all that other stuff. I suggest the NFL is actually racist for only choosing and highlighting black players. I am sure that this is why you chose to draft Love as a QB when he never should have. That's Jordan Love, the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers. When he never should have been chosen. I hope the Packers will play the national anthem and fly the flag high with the planes going over as they always have. Anyone who doesn't respect and honor our flag and our military heroes does not belong on the Packer roster. So for the 2022-2023 season, let's just play football and leave all the politics and racism out of the stadium. Oh, Maryland! First of all, you hit every far right-wing talking point possible, and then at the end of it, you demand we leave racism out of. Oh, Maryland! Why did the Packers? Okay, fine, Maryland. Yeah, you want white players? Here you go. We just drafted a white, slow-footed cornerback for the Packers D. Enjoy, Maryland. Enjoy the guy. Enjoy the corner who runs a 5.5 40. There you go. She thinks that they're drafting black players over white players into the NFL because it's racism? No, it's not it. Here's what I don't get. I don't understand why the Packers would put that on their website. What is that about? That doesn't seem to make any sense. We know people who think like this still exist, it says, but why do the Packers and the general manager need to give them the time of day, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, that's basically what happens with Green Bay. So that's Maryland. That's pretty much every fat, chain-smoking, borderline alcoholic, morbidly obese person who lives in the Green Bay metropolitan area. That's all of them. Yeah, Jeff is right. It is. No, Marilyn, you're right. It is about race. It's a 40-yard race. It's about that. Please. She wants to agree. Look, hey, you know what? As a Chicago Bear fan, fanatic, if the Green Bay Packers just want to draft white players based on, just the fact that they're white, I'm all for it. I am all for it because, yeah, I think that'll be good. I think 2 white corners. I think 2 doughy white defensive tackles. Maybe they'll get a Christian McCaffrey. Maybe they'll be like, a couple. Maybe they'll get a Cooper Kupp. Yeah, there's a couple of those out there. Yeah, that's fine. You keep Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, go ahead. If you are an ardent, does she honestly think that? Oh God, does she think that they're really just being drafted because they're black, or does she not understand that there's a whole lot of other things that go into it, like how high can they jump, how fast are they, how strong are they, what have they shown on tape? I mean, that's why you draft. It's funny. She's hysterical. She's hysterical. She wants. Look, you want to watch a 2-15 team. How many games are they playing now? They playing 17 now. Or didn't they? Whatever. You want a 2 or 3 win team? Actually, not even. Well, I don't know. I guess they could get lucky. They do have to play the Lions twice a year. Hi-oh! NFC North jokes. All right. What else do we have here? Actually, that's about it. I'm going to wrap up the show because, like I said, we're gonna get out of here a little bit early today. Let me see if there's anything new that's tweeting. that I can. Crypto crash. Crypto crash is trending because apparently. Well, let's check back in on the Bitcoin. Let's see what we were. We were in a very difficult crypto type area. Hold on. Let me see. Has it gone down at all since the show started? Oh my God. It was down an hour ago when I mentioned what my Bitcoin was. It was down 6.4. Okay. In the hour, it has gone down 11.7. So look at this. Look at the blue line. Look at the blue line. Look at that. Blue line is crashing, baby. There you go. It is just a deep dive. It is just going whoop. No, this way. Whoop. There you go. Yeah, there's $10. That's what I got. That's what I watch on my crypto. It was up to like 18 like a couple of days ago. Now it's crashing. Well, there you go. Crypto crash is trending. Ah, boy. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Let's see what else is happening. Anything else that is trending here? Newsmax is trending. That can't be good. Fire department in New York. The New York City Fire Department responds to a viral video of an... Okay, I don't care about that. I don't really care about the whole... John Brown is trending. John Brown was born on this day, and I didn't include him in the birthdays because I don't rarely go back that far. But there is a really good movie about John Brown, the abolitionist, that was on Showtime. What was it called? Bird Sing something. I can suggest that if you're interested in who John Brown was. It was really good. It was really good. Movie. Yeah, let's see. What's that movie called? The Good Lord Bird. Yeah, that's what it was. The Good Lord Bird TV miniseries from back in 2020. It is. There you go. Thank you, Adam. Adam's got it. I should know. Adam's always got it. Looking at some of the Bitcoin stuff. All right, let me see what else. So John Brown is trending. Jack Harlow is trending. I don't know who that is. He trends all the time. He's always Jack Harlow. He sounds like a Marvel Universe character. Is he like is Jack Harlow like the real name of like Snake Boy or something? I don't know who Jack Harlow is. Honestly, I don't know if he's a singer. I don't know if he's a YouTuber. I don't know if he's an actor, but man, does he get a lot of play. Jack Harlow is always being mentioned, and I just pass him by because I'm a man of a certain age and I don't really care. I don't really. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. Let's see what the chat room is going on. Adam says he's a singer. His new album is okay. I liked it on first listen, but man, his first 3 mixtapes were dope. Will C says just buy more Bitcoin and hold and buy more. Will says watching your portfolio on a daily basis is a recipe for disaster. I forget about it for weeks and weeks at a time. It's just whenever something is trending like that, then for a fact, I'll look at it here on the show. I forget that I have it. Let's see what else. But I'll tell you, I have seen nothing but, I don't know. You know what? I was about to give my take on crypto, and I'm just gonna shut up because I know when I'm a moron on something, and I don't know anything about it. All I know is that it's like at 10 now. It started at 15. It had gone as high as like 18 or 19, and now it's at 10. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come back up. Maybe it'll shoot back up. Who knows? Look forward to it. No, I'm not going to give my take. Nobody wants my take. Look at this guy. Look at this. Look at we got. I love it. We got I like when we get hit by bots in the chat room. I don't know, makes me feel like we're growing. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I'm going to end the show here. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget tonight, the return of Pugs and Kelly. It'll be me and Kelly and James Parker, and it is a Kelly Moore Monday on the Pillow Talk edition at 9:00. And let me just tell you this, okay? Let me tell you this about what you can look forward to. My role on tonight's Pillow Talk there's a very good chance that it will just be this. This is what my role on tonight's Pillow Talk might be. Kelly, go on. She called me last night. I told you I used her daughter, McKenna, the wildly talented McKenna. And so she's a mom. She called me afterward. How did it go? Was she good? Oh, she was great. She was fantastic. How's Mother's Day? Well, I almost had to throw out $500 in steaks. I go, ooh, why would you do that? Oh, because I'm married to, and then she just starts going off. Apparently her Mother's Day was not good at all. And she was ranting and she was angry and she had a little bit of wine in her, which I'm going to send her a note to say, just have a little bit of wine tonight before you come on and tell that story. But she had, my God, was she fired up. I have not heard my former partner that fired up about something in a very long time. So I look forward to her. Although I said to her last night, I go, well, just let's get into this tomorrow. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Oh, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I will talk about all of this. In fact, I need an outlet for and some of the details. Oh my God. I'm like, really? You're going to talk about that? She's like, I don't care. I really don't care. And I'm like, you've had a couple of drinks. I think that tomorrow when you're sober, I think it might be able to. No, it's not going to be different. I am fired up. I want to talk. I'm like, okay. So, we've got that to maybe look forward to. We've got, so that's tonight on the Pillow Talk edition. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. It is Kelly Moore Mondays. All right, let's see. Can I play this? I can. Look at that. My kid is not. Oh, it's because I'm early. See, usually when I try to play my closing theme on the High Noon stream, my son is using our shared Spotify account because he has weightlifting at 2:00. So here we go. So I am now I'm free and clear to use John Hinckley. Got my song. Okay, Byron, you're not going to miss it, Byron. All of these shows can be found at pugscast.com. You listen to it your own. Look, if you catch the stream, we love it. But all the shows are available. You don't have to it's the convenience of it. You don't have to be here for the live stream. I love you guys that are with me for the live stream. I love that because you're my little partners. Couldn't live without Adam. Couldn't live without Will. Couldn't live without Byron, Jeff, Al. All you guys. I'm trying to look at names here, but I can't see them now. No, so I appreciate you guys that are here for the live stream, but you don't have to miss it. You can listen to it on the ride home. It's just it's on YouTube. Pugscast.com is the direct link. Also, you can support the show. Please do help the show out. A little something. Drop it. Tips in the Venmo, in the Cash App, whatever you can do. We use your kindnesses, your gratuities to keep these shows going. 2 shows every day, Monday through Friday, except for the second one. Second one's just Monday through Thursday. Leslie, who I, when she's not there, she's the one I notice first because she's the Her Royal Highness of the chat room, and then she disappears, and it crushes my soul until she pops up again, and then she says something mean to me, and I get mad at her, and then I forget that I can't stay mad at my queen. It's a very complicated relationship. I have that with Adam too. And if Leslie is the queen of the chat room, then Adam is the prince of punk ass. But I do miss him when he's not here. Jeff I take for granted. Jeff is always here. I love that Jeff is here. I take Jeff for granted. All right, so here's what I gotta do. Was that thunder? Was that thunder? It's sunny outside. I either just heard thunder or a tree fell in our yard. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Oh, yo, the dog's here. That was thunder, wasn't it? What was that, girl? Are you scared? Say hi to everybody. Come on up. Come on up. There she is. Say hi to everybody. What was that we were hearing, huh? I don't know. That was weird. That was scary. Okay. All right. Now's the part where she tries to climb up on the chair, and she struggles. Ow! Ow! It's these claws. She's got these claws that are like little Edward scissor paws. All right, get down. I love you, baby. Go. Go kill something. She's a hunter, don't you know? Oh, here I am. All right, bye, folks. See you tonight. Say bye, C. CeeLo says bye.